Well, good evening, and how special to be introduced by my wonderful, talented daughter, Abby. No bias here. I often call her Dear Abby because she advises so many and frankly gives better advice than what you'd find in the New York Times. What a memorable night to celebrate Independent Women's Forum, its big 30th, with its dynamic leader, Carrie Lucas, and the legendary Alex Donner Orchestra. I'm so honored to receive IWF's Lifetime Achievement Award and to be amongst such distinguished honorees. I'm especially grateful to IWF for keeping the flames of freedom alive. Ralph Waldo Emerson advised, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." That's IWF. And also, that's my amazing mother, Catherine Davis, a trailblazer who firmly believed that each of us can make a difference in our community, in our country, and the world. People-to-people diplomacy was her signature. At 4 years of age, my precocious mother learned from dinner conversation that women here in America did not have the right to vote. So she insisted on joining my strong-willed grandmother in the big suffragette march in Philadelphia, where they waved their yellow flags. Indeed, women must have a voice and a vote. Then, paving her own trail, this recent Wellesley College grad joined a legendary anthropologist and 10 others on a 2-week horseback trek in the rugged Caucasus Mountains. 2 days out, bandits stole all their food, leaving only 2 horses. However, they journeyed on, surviving on wild goat, berries, cooked grass, and water from streams. In 1929, women travelers, especially to the USSR, were indeed a rarity, but this didn't deter my mother. This venture sparked her lifelong fascination with Russia, even writing her PhD dissertation on the Soviets in Geneva. When the USSR opened up to Americans in 1959, our family traveled to this Iron Curtain country. Thus began my mother's Russian travels, 35 trips in all, 3 for me, to this vast country. In 1959, there were commodity scarcities and tight constraints on what we did and what we said. Our guide was the watchdog, and we were warned that our hotel rooms were bugged. However, in the 90s, there were fewer constraints for tourists, and my mother found a way to go to such places as a daycare center, an auto plant, even a casino and wedding palace. She shared her behind-the-scenes experiences, giving talks around the country, hopeful that people-to-people diplomacy could bring better understanding between these 2 world powers, countries pivotal to peace. In the late 90s, my mother traveled to Cuba with an organization promoting free Cuba. I was with her. We brought suitcases full of pharmaceuticals, computers, books, even soap, a rare commodity. Our Cuban hosts, Freemasons, introduced us to a young woman who headed the Free Library movement. In her small apartment, she housed censored books, which could be taken out on loan for a week. Her husband had been in prison and put in isolation 18 years for his leadership in the Free Cuban movement. Somehow, we also managed to get into an elementary school where there were large photographs of revolutionaries on all the walls, reminding the children of these heroes. And in a dimly lit tobacco factory nearby, we observed over 100 workers seated in rows, rolling tobacco leaves in their seats, designated for life, indeed a dim future. These travels made me acutely appreciative of our precious freedoms, which we all take for granted. I'm very proud of my grandson, Spencer, a Rice grad who felt so passionate about giving back to our country that he joined the Army. In his basic training each morning, soldiers recited the Soldier's Creed. The last line reads, "I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life." As Ronald Reagan reminded us, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was like when in the United States, where men were free. Once again, congratulations, IWF. You're such a force and catalyst preserving our exceptional land of the free. Thank you.